Hello and welcome to Good Clean Gaming. I'm your host Jalindo, and today we're playing more Euro Truck Simulator 2. Oh my goodness, Euro Truck Simulator. Try it again. And we're playing more Euro Truck Simulator 2. All right, that was better. Like it, like it a lot. That was almost a horrible disaster. I just repaired my truck, and I was about to just ram another truck. That was going to be funny. Alright, so we need to pick up a load. We don't know what we're going to get. Let's find out. There's one. A digger. There's an excavator. There's a tractor. Wow, they need a lot of heavy equipment over in that town. Whatever town that is. Warsaw. Yep, another one. Forklifts. They need a lot of stuff over there. We're going to take one of those. Which piece of heavy equipment are we going to take? How about this tractor? Let's take that. Bloop. Where do we have to go? We have to go to the right. Let's go to the right. That was kind of obvious. It'd be different if I would have said, "Oh, we have to go to the left. Let's go to the right. Oh, we have to go straight. Let's turn around." You know, it'd be kind of weird, but let's go to the right. Oh, we need to go to the right. Let's go to the right. That's kind of expected. Kind of obvious. 50 miles an hour. Go, go, go. We're going to get a load and we're going to deliver it. It's going to be fun because we are truck drivers. Hey, truck drivers. I need to come up with more songs. What am I talking about? I come up with songs every single episode. I need to come up with less songs. Hope the speed limit goes up after we get out of town here. Need more caffeine. Running low. Oh, so tired. Oh, sunrise. We're at sunrise. We did take a nap, so we should be well rested. We repaired our vehicle. We have plenty of gas. We should be good to go. 70 miles an hour. Sweet. There needs to be some kind of like ding whenever the speed limit changes. That would be nice. Is there a mod for that? Goes from 50 to 70. Ding. That'd be sweet. Be like this giant, "You can go faster now" sign. Driving down here to Triet. Is that what it is? Triet? Is that a mill? Like a woodyard mill kind of thing? I really want to deliver some cars. I think that would be really cool. Boop. Triet. Okay. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Didn't see that car behind that graphic. Oh. Love it when they slow down and cause you not to be able to do anything. Thank you, car. Seriously, come on, go. Making it hard for me. Oh, and stop. Yay. We're delivering it from Bialystok to Warsaw. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Whoa. That's kind of in a corner, isn't it? Okay. Guess we're gonna have to make a U-ey here. Let's do that. Listen to that engine purr. Okay, engines hum and engines purr, but they sound like nothing like that. I've never heard an engine purr. That's not the word. If an engine were purring, I would take it to the mechanic and I'd get it. I would literally take it to the mechanic and drop it off and say, they'd be like, "What's the problem? What's wrong with your vehicle?" And I would be like, "Oh, it's purring. It's supposed to be, I don't know, revving or, running or." And why do engines run? I mean, engines don't really run anywhere. They're kind of just there, and they have explosions and combustion, and they propel the car forward using that you know, internal combustion engine kind of mechanic, right? So they don't really run anywhere. That's just the wrong word. I guess it makes sense to it makes more sense to say my engine's running than my engine is exploding in you know, in a compressed, controlled environment. I guess that's why it's running. Okay. Also, water. If your water's running, it's not really running. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. It's like, you know, it's drizzling, or it's draining, or it's flowing, or flowing. Yeah, that's probably the right word. Your water is flowing. It's flowing downhill. It's not running downhill. It doesn't have legs and, you know, jogging. You wouldn't say your water is jogging downhill. You would say that your truck driver is scraping the side of your trailer across a piling there, but you wouldn't say the water is, you know, running. You wouldn't say it's jogging. You'd say it's flowing. You wouldn't say your engine's flowing, but you also shouldn't say your engine's running or jogging. What are we talking about again? I have completely forgotten. Speed limit 70 miles an hour. I saw a thresher. Or is it a harvester? Harvester, yeah. I know my farming lingo. Saw a harvester. Driving on the bridge, driving through Bialystok, and I guess that'll take us towards our target, which is, where are we going again? I have no idea. That's why I have a GPS device, so I don't have to know. Only the GPS device has to know. Wow, that was dangerous. There was almost no more little green car. Thank you, brakes. Thank you, brakes. Whoa, red light. You know what that means? See, it just sounds wrong when I don't say it. Nature. Yeah. Still no green light, really? Is it stuck? Are you stuck, red light? There you go, green light. Oh, left turn here. It didn't look like a left turn because the word Bialystok was over where I was supposed to turn. I didn't see it. Now I see it, and now we're going. Gonna go to the end of this road, take a left. Take a left, take a left, take a left, left. At the end of this road. Uh-oh. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Started to phase out there for a minute. Was looking at my speed, looking at my GPS device, and was not looking at the road. Remember, kids, when driving a car, look at the road. It's very important. There was actually, I saw a news story recently. By recently, I mean this morning, where they actually have, you know, you guys probably know about the Oculus Rift. If you don't, yeah, stop this video right now. Go to Google News and look up the Oculus Rift, because you must know about this thing. It is very important. It's possibly the biggest thing to ever happen to gaming ever in the past, like, I don't know, recent couple of years. Sure. Okay, the biggest thing in gaming in the last 2 or 3 years that hasn't actually even come out yet. But when it comes out, it's going to be awesome. Anyway, saw a news story. Apparently, they're making a driving simulator for teenagers. And the driving simulator is going to make it where it tracks your, obviously with the Oculus Rift, it tracks your head, and you can look up and down, left and right. And so the objective is to keep your eyes on the road. And while you're driving, while you're keeping your eyes on the road, you're driving perfectly fine, and you're going through all these, going through a city and going through construction, all this other kind of stuff. And the entire time you're focusing on the road, your friend in the passenger seat is turning up the radio and talking, and your other friend in the back seat's talking, and then there's loud noises from around you, from the city, you know, distractions. And then also there's a text, you know, comes in. Your friend wants you to look at the text while you're driving, you know. And doing any of these things, looking away from the road, take your eyes off the road, will actually cause you to crash, just like in real life. So, but the only thing that you have to do in order to drive safely is to just keep looking forward and not look around. It seems so simple, but it's just amazing how authentic the Oculus Rift experience is. it gives you the sense of you're actually there, like you're actually physically in a different place. And noises around your head, noises that you hear while you're in this virtual environment, make you feel like you're actually hearing those noises because you're actually driving down the road. So it really is more distracting, more so than a video game. In a video game, you can hear noise and say, "Oh, I know what that is. I'm not going to turn my head." But when it's actually in your head, when it's actually feels like it's right there, if you were to hear it, let's say it's a gunshot. In real life, it might bother you a little bit. Depending on where you live, you might actually hear them frequently enough that it doesn't actually faze you that much. But it would get your attention a little bit. But in the Oculus Rift, you hear one right around your shoulder, and you're going to turn your head. Unlike in a regular video game without Oculus Rift support, you would just be like, "Oh, it's a gunshot. Okay, I know what that is." But with the Oculus Rift on, you're like, "Oh, what was that?" And you turn your head, and then all of a sudden, boom, you crash your car because you looked at the text. See, I brought that from what we were talking about all the way around to gunshots and hearing things behind you, all the way back to texting while driving. Important not to text while driving. It's not cool. So, anyway. Oh, getting on the wrong side of the road. And we're back. 70 miles an hour. Let's see if we can get up to that speed, and then we'll be on our way. A lot of people get annoyed with certain things like that. Like, they get annoyed with this, you shouldn't text while driving thing. They feel like people are nagging them, but, one thing I've noticed is once you see like the consequences of certain things like this, you see the consequences of distracted driving, it phases you. It changes your viewpoint. And as you get, I've noticed, as I shouldn't generalize and put my viewpoint on other people, but it seems to be the correct viewpoint that as you get older, your brain kind of changes, your structure of your brain changes, the way you react to things changes. Whoa, that was a crazy car. And you start doing things differently. When you're younger, and when I was younger at least, and when I think most people were younger, they were more apt to take risks. They were more apt to do crazy stuff. And as you age, as you get older, you tend to be less likely to do crazy stuff. You want more security. As you get older, you want more risk when you're younger. Why? Well, it kind of makes sense when you think about it. When you're younger, you have less stuff to lose. If you have nothing to lose and everything to gain, you're going to be like, yeah, let's take some risks, And then think about, as you get older, you accumulate, whatever you accumulate, in a lot of cases it's wealth, in other cases it's family, in other cases it's, stature in the community, in other cases it's, integrity, or whatever you build up over time. And we typically build up a lot of things, and things we can't even really put into words we build up on. And when that happens, you realize that, hey, I don't want to lose this. It becomes more damaging to take a risk. So you start being more risk averse as you age because you have more to lose and less to gain. Just the way it is. And it makes perfect sense when you really think about it. So all the teenagers out there that think old people are just fuddy-duddy, people that don't want to do anything fun, it's not that. We like fun stuff. We like to do plenty of fun stuff. We just have more to lose than younger people. And younger people have less to lose and more to gain by doing that crazy stuff. And so they do. I don't really, think of it as anything different. It's just risk. Anywho, speaking of risk, nice board game. I have never actually gotten to play a full game of Risk on a board. I've only played it on the computer. And only on like MS-DOS like 15 years ago. So that's a game I would like to play. I think it'd be interesting. It's kind of like chess but on a map, I guess, suppose. Sort of, kind of. I played I think it was a Warcraft 3 mod. Yeah, no, or StarCraft mod, excuse me, StarCraft mod, I think. Yeah, StarCraft mod, that's what it was. StarCraft 3, 2, 1? 1. StarCraft 1 had a... Wow, I'm old. StarCraft 1 had a Risk mod. It had tons of mods. That's one thing I love about games modding. But anyway, that's another conversation. StarCraft 1 had a Risk mod, and it was very cool. And I always wondered if that was how Risk was, or if it was somehow different on the board game. I mean, how do you do all the math, and how do you do, you know, armies and all this kind of stuff? I don't really know. I'd like to know. Why don't you tell me? Comment below. So, yeah. So, speaking of mods, I love mods. I think they're the greatest thing. I like to either play... When I do install mods, I have this kind of weird thing where I either want to play completely vanilla with no mods whatsoever and have a completely vanilla experience in a game and see the game as the kind of quote-unquote as the developers intended it, even though that whole phrase is kind of meaningless. Who cares how the developers intended something? All that really matters is how the video gamers want to play it. If we find a way to enjoy it differently than the developers intended, the developers should be delighted, because it means there's another way to play their game, and it's another selling point for their game. So it should be awesome. And I'm sure a lot of developers are very happy about that. Some developers might be a little peeved, I assume. You took my vision and you changed my vision. That's not what I visioned with this game. Yeah, who cares? But yeah, there's a lot of developers that fully support modding, and I think that's awesome, because the second thing I like to do is, once I'm done with the vanilla version of the game, which we're playing Euro Truck Simulator 2 vanilla, by the way, because I think it does preserve the spirit of what I'm after, you know, of this is how the game was intended to be played, because I want that experience, but I don't quote-unquote need that experience. So I also love playing fully modded games, like not just going in and installing like 1 or 2 mods that I really like. I like to like totally convert the game into a brand new game, a brand new experience. Skyrim's a good example, or RimWorld, or any of those other games where it has extensive modding. You know, the first playthrough is just vanilla, and then after that you're like, okay, now I want to completely change the rules entirely, you know, and you play through it. Interesting note, if you're ever playing Skyrim and you wanted to be, this is a really cool tip, I guess. If you do like Skyrim and you want to play more family-friendly version, which I like family-friendly everything, and I like to make it more of a, you know, blood-free, you know, game that is enjoyable. It's still not for, I'd say it's still not for kids, obviously, but you can actually enable, oh, whoa, red light. You can actually enable a setting in the configuration file to basically turn it into, I guess it's the German version. Is the German or the Russian version? German version. I think it's the German version. You basically turn it into the German version of the game, but still in English. And what that means is you're basically disable all the gore, all the blood. And I don't like playing any games with blood in them. So you disable all that stuff. You disable all the death animations and everything, and it becomes a lot cleaner, I think. A lot of people will make counter arguments to that. I just don't buy it. It's basically as clean or cleaner than, well, I guess as clean as a Bugs Bunny cartoon, sure. Because if you think of a Bugs Bunny cartoon, you don't have people getting stuck on rails. That's what you don't have. You have people getting kind of, you know, Bugs Bunny cartoons, think about Daffy Duck, and you get the shotgun, the hunter's rifle pointed at him, and pow, and then all of a sudden his beak spins around and his face turns black, and he's like, "Oh, you silly rabbit!" You know, it's not very serious. That's basically, it's kind of like what Skyrim turns into. You don't really see anything bad other than, "Haha, I beat you," and "Oh yeah," and they just fall to the ground. They just kind of go limp. And then you can just, you know, think of it as knocking them out, because that's basically what it looks like. It looks like you just knocked them out. Pretty sweet. So you can do that. There's also some third-party mods that make it even more family-friendly by removing some of the gory parts of the game, which I think is really awesome. A lot of people say, no, you shouldn't be allowed to play like that, or you're lame for wanting to play the game like that. Why would you play a game like that? You know, and I just say, you know, every gamer should have the right to play how they want to play. You know, if they want to play without any kind of negative stuff, they should be allowed to play that way, and they shouldn't be They shouldn't be insulted or faulted for it. I mean, come on, we're all gamers. I mean, if you think about it, at least most of us were probably, especially the heavy gamers back in the day, a lot of us were probably picked on pretty heavily by all those people around us, going to school, and, you know, people who weren't gamers, people who didn't understand and thought it was a waste of time. Gaming's popular now. It's amazing how popular gaming is and how everyone does it. Back in the old days, it was like, man, you were some kind of weirdo. Go outside and play, you know? And I do appreciate balance. But anyway, back to the topic. We're picked on enough. We were picked on enough back in the day, a lot of us. Leave each other alone, you know? Let each other play the way they want to play. Let each other enjoy a game the way they want to enjoy a game. And don't, you know, make snarky comments, tell them how stupid they are or how lame they are for, I can't believe I'm using lame. That's like 20-year-old terminology. So my terminology is lame. My slang is lame. So don't insult people and make them feel horrible because they are different. Because you want people that are different. Different people are what makes the world great. All the great people in history were different. If you want to think for a second that William Shakespeare wasn't different, or Julius Caesar wasn't different, or Alexander the Great wasn't different, or any of the great like doctors or scientists or inventors weren't different, you're crazy. I don't mean to call you crazy, but if you believe that way, it's kind of hard to defend that argument because they were very, very weird people, and you have a lot to thank them for. I have a lot to thank them for. Not to sound preachy, of course. That's not the intent of this at all. Just want to show my appreciation for weirdos, of whom I count myself as a happy member. There we go. Finally got it. Very sensitive, this game, with how to get inside, how close you got to get inside those lines. When did we get damaged? I don't remember damage. Oh well. Level 4. Fragile cargo? Sure, fragile cargo. Maybe that'll be cars. Who knows? Beep, beep. So, yeah, we're going to take a break here. I hope you don't mind me getting on the soapbox from time to time. I will drag it out for fun stuff like that, or I guess weird stuff like that, and then kick it back to the curb so we can enjoy driving again. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Love you for watching. Thank you for watching. And remember, keep it clean.